Well, hello and welcome to all of our viewers around the world. I'm Fiona Lang Sharp, IBCLC Director of Communications and MC here at Gold Learning. Today, we're talking all about our tongue tie conference, which is coming up very soon here. You've got to go to the website goldtonguetie.com and check out all the details. You will see everybody on there. You'll see the full schedule. If you're joining us live, make sure you'll see it all in your own time zone, which is super awesome because we're all around the world and we love to come together. This is your opportunity to collaborate with all of your peers. It's an exciting time here for Gold Tongue Tie. I have Alison Wessels here. Alison, it's so good to have you back. We've had a great sort of fun morning together. We've been working on your presentation, which is looking beautiful, I have to say. The one thing, if you haven't met Alison before, let me just tell you quickly, I'm going to make her blush for sure, but she just provides such great visuals, which I know many of you are just waiting for because we want to see what others are seeing. We want to do the comparison. You've got videos and content, and thank you so much to you and of course your team and all of your beautiful clients. It's great to have you back. Thank you for joining me here today, Alison.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here, and I appreciate the invitation and just humbled to be among so many amazing people teaching here.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, I'll remind everyone, but you're a physical therapist or, PT, as known as well. And that adds another layer, to what you do. What a privilege, to be working with both of those things. But it means you have two lenses, that you can look through. But primarily you see clients, you said, in your home, like many folks who are listening in today as well.
Mhm.
You're going to see the average, postpartum, I guess, mom, right? In that respect.
Yeah, we provide all in-home visits for our clients, and we do get continuous feedback about how clients really appreciate learning in their own homes,
Mm,
where they're familiar with the space, they're learning a brand new thing about their body, their brand new baby's body, and so they really appreciate us coming to their home. So we
mm.
want to try to continue that as best we can.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So for this event, you're going to be talking about identifying and addressing compensations and inefficient movement patterns in the tongue-tied baby. So you're going to take like a whole body look. Tell us a little bit about what we're going to be looking at, and how some of the things that you actually discovered yourself when you were putting this presentation together.
Yeah, so again, as an IBCLC with a background in physical therapy, my mind is always looking at posture and reflexes and
Mm,
body mechanics and how our body moves to really optimize our function. So I'm looking at structure of the whole body and intraorally, and then I'm assessing function of the baby, function and of the baby then breastfeeding.
right.
And so I'm going to go over a little bit of that, and then kind of talk about what is normal function,
Mm,
biologically normal function, as I like to term it. My undergraduate degree is in biology, and so I like to use the term biological breastfeeding or biological feeding,
right.
referring to what is the biological movement we should see in
Mm,
a baby to effectively and functionally feed. So we're going to sort of define that in the presentation, and then move on into some concepts as a physical therapist that I've learned and find myself applying, including how to identify compensatory movement. So that just means lack of movement in one area, adding new movement in another area
mm,
to kind of compensate for maybe how
right.
that movement someplace else on the body isn't happening. And then how that can lead to asymmetrical movement, meaning one side of the body is moving differently than the other side of the body. And then how does that affect the function of feeding that we're all trying to help people
Oh my
improve upon
gosh.
every day? And from there, I'll go into some case studies to kind of demonstrate these concepts and try to share some activities that improve upon these compensatory or asymmetrical movements, all with relevance to how this impacts the driver of our feeding, meaning the tongue. And is the function of the tongue effective, and is its anatomy effective and efficient and driving that function. And then underneath that all is the hot topic of tongue tie. So there's a lot more to just that area, that tied area, but that little tied area can just wreak havoc on the body too at the same time.
Sure. Yeah. Wow. So I was just, as you were laying that all out for me, I'm thinking of my most recent client and the conversations we were having and thinking about that, that mother baby dyad and how they were working together. That compensatory, type of behavior that's happening. What is offset? What is cause and effect? What can we undo? Because I think because we're trying to see all the things. What is normal? What can we do? What can't we do? There's so many questions. I've got so many questions for you now in terms of, relating it all back. This is very fascinating. I know that we talk about this, we talk about tongue tie every year. We have this amazing now new conference. Of course, we've had our symposium in the past. But what I love about our event is that we really bring people together who are thinking outside of the box, like yourself, beyond just, the basics. Is it a tongue tie? Is it not? Where are we going to refer? How do we help the family get a diagnosis? All those types of things. You're looking really beyond that. And that sounds like you're going to be helping us look beyond that too.
Yeah, and to ultimately help put these families at ease, they're very stressed out, understandably. And so we want to help them understand, like, look, your baby has a whole body here that has to work synchronously, up and down, side to side, and helping them just be at ease with how this is a process,
Hmm.
and there's a wide window to get it working as best as it can. There's sometimes I think when I first started practicing as an IBCLC, I felt so much pressure. I felt so rushed to like fix this in one
Right.
visit. And now that I've been working 10 years as an IBCLC, I'm really try to be conscious when I'm with people, be very present with them, and really hear them and listen to them, and make sure that I am establishing trust with them and putting them at ease about the situation. And I think that's kind of the foundation of what we do as
Right.
lactation consultants. And so then we can go deeper into, okay, this is what I'm seeing now that might be happening. And this could be related to the way your baby's tongue has developed, but we're going to try, some things. We're going to really prepare them to be in a moving as best they can be if and when we need to get a detailed assessment on this.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned that. In all seriousness, we talked about this offline, in terms of how are we supporting families today that it is so overwhelming and faced with all of these things. We very quickly could list off, cause and effect, and this is not quite right, and this is what's happened, and this is how the baby's compensating, and so forth and so on, right? So, and I think that you and I talked about really kind of taking a step back, trusting in the parent, understanding exactly what their needs are, at what are their goals. It goes back to the very basics of,
Yeah.
who we are and the foundation of being an IBCLC, but having the knowledge that, if we're moving forward with them on
Mhm.
this journey,
Yeah.
that we really understand what can happen next, how to refer, who to refer to. And
Mhm.
then the really important factor is how we're going to follow up with them, to make sure that things are, going in the direction that they were hoping for, and or just supporting the infant at the breast, the very basics again, right? So all the things, right, Allison?
Right, absolutely. And, we are the experts in positioning, helping with
Mm,
people get their babies positioned for
yeah.
an effective, what I call infant-led active reflexive latching. And so we are the experts in that, or we should be. And I think that is very important to remember. And if we see that these techniques that we know should work from a biological perspective are not working, then we need to, have the baby have an eye for what is the movement missing here, what's the reflex missing, what's the degree of motion missing for this. And I do think it's within the competency of the IBCLC to really grow expertise in that.
Mm,
And then, collaborate with other, if it gets to a point where, okay, my techniques, my eye is just still missing something, then go to a more specialized person to
right.
collaborate with you. They're not necessarily going to know though what does breastfeeding look like? What's positioning and latch?
Yeah.
And so really collaborating and letting them know, look, like the baby should be moving like this, but for some reason I can't unlock that and get them to move that way. What can you do to help them move, get more, for sim for simplification, more head rotation to the right,
Yeah.
so kind of growing that expertise in movement as related to breastfeeding, and then knowing, when to start to look for someone in your community to collaborate with if it's beyond what you've developed expertise in at this point.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that, this is how, you really the work of an IBCLC has expanded, and thank goodness, because I think, when I first started, it somewhat felt like very lonely. I'd have all these, I would have situations that I really couldn't resolve. I remember seeing my very first case where it was a parent who identified the tongue tie because the mother, she had had it as, herself. But back in the day, there was very little we could do. We didn't have experts. We didn't, I wouldn't, there was just no one that we could call, and no one was really identifying it. So we have come a long way, and we are, we're seeing families being successful on their own terms, because success is a measure that they determine, right?
Mhm.
And but we're there to help them and showcase, what we can do. I love working with you, Allison. I think that, if we were neighbors, I'd be calling you all the time.
Hey,
um,
yeah.
yeah, it's just great having you here. And I think this is what embodies what we're doing here at our tongue tie, conference, is that we're bringing people in like you yourself to show us what we can do beyond just the basics, what we're looking for, and then, how we collaborate within our communities. Thank you for, being here today, and just, I'm excited, for you to showcase all the amazing content that you have,
Oh.
and we'll look forward to seeing you at our conference.
Oh, thank you very much, Fiona. I look forward to it, and thank you for all the content you do create to just keep moving the field forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, folks, that's it for today, but do come and join us for our Gold Tongue Tie Conference. You can check it out all out at goldtonguetie.com. You'll also be able to join us this year for the very first time, for we have an opening and closing keynote that is free and open access. How amazing is that? So you can join us. We open up live on September 9th, but go to the website today. You can check out all the details. As I said, you can register for the keynotes. And you can also, of course, get in on all the savings for the conference. I'll look forward to seeing you there. And so will Allison. We'll have some great opportunity to have a live Q&A as well. Thank you so much for joining me here today, Allison, and we'll
Yeah,
see you
thank
all
you.
very soon. Bye-bye for now, everyone.